Hello all. Today's story is from a book called 10 in a Bed. This is one of my all-time favourite stories. And it's called, can you read that? Too Many Bears. Are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin. One evening, a little girl named Dinah Price kissed her mum and dad goodnight, climbed the stairs, went into her bedroom and found 3 bears sitting in a bed. The bears were a father bear, a mother bear and a baby bear. They were lying side by side, with the baby bear in the middle. They appeared to be sleeping. Dinah Price knew a bit about bears. When she was even a littler girl, her mum used to tell her a story about bears and the trouble they had with another little girl called Goldilocks. So Dinah went up to the bed with the bears in it and said, "Who's been sleeping in my bed?" Straight away the bears opened their eyes and shouted, "Us!" And they laughed, all 3 of them. They were only pretending to be asleep. Dinah Price stood at the foot of the bed and looked at the bears. The evening sunlight was shining into the room. Through the open window came the sound of a lawnmower. The next door neighbour was cutting his grass. The bears lay in the bed and looked at Dinah Price. From time to time, they each gave a little nudge and smiled. They didn't seem embarrassed at all to be in someone else's bed. They showed no sign of leaving. "What are you doing here?" said Dinah. "Resting," said the father bear. "But how did you get in?" "That would be telling. Maybe we climbed in through the drain pipe, up the drain pipe." "Or down the chimney," said the mother bear. "Like Santa Claus," the baby bear said. "There isn't a chimney," said Dinah. "We've got central heating." At that moment, through the open window came the chimes of an ice cream van. The baby bear's little eyes lit up. "Can we go home now?" "No," said the mother bear. "We've only just got here." Then in a whisper to Dinah she added, "Take no notice. What he really wants is an ice cream." "What are you whispering about?" said the baby bear, and he said, "Can I have an ice cream?" "Wait and see," said Mother Bear. Dinah Price thought for a minute. She would not have minded an ice cream herself. She said, "But shouldn't you be going home anyway? It's bedtime." "That's not a problem," said Father Bear. "We're in bed." "Yes, but it's not yours, it's mine. And I have to go to sleep. I'll be in trouble if I don't." "That's too bad," said the Father Bear. "We like it here." "It's comfy," said Mother Bear. The baby bear knelt up in bed and whispered in his mother's ear. For the first time Dinah noticed he had her woolly duck in bed with him. He must have taken it from the toy box. The mother bear nodded and smiled. The baby bear turned to Dinah. "My mum says you could tell us a story." "A story?" Dinah frowned. "You want me to tell you a story?" "That's the idea," said the mother bear. Dinah Price thought for a minute. "If I did tell you a story, would you promise to go home then, to your own beds?" For a moment there was silence. The bears looked at each other. The baby bear whispered in his mother's ear again, and then in his father's ear. After all that time, the 3 of them spoke at once. "Yes, that's fair enough," and "It's a promise." So Dinah Price pulled up her stool, picked up a book from a bedside table, and began to read. Well, the truth is, she pretended to read, for she was making the story up. Once upon a time there were 3 bears. "Heard it already," said the baby bear. "No, you haven't," Dinah said. "This is a different one. Listen." And this is the story she told. Once upon a time there were 3 bears who lived together in a house of their own in the wood. One of them was a little small wee bear. "That's me," said the baby bear. One was a middle-sized bear, and the other was a huge, great big bear. One day these bears were out walking. They came to a neat little house at the edge of the wood. It had a red roof, yellow curtains, and roses round the door. It was a girl named Goldilocks' house. "She's a little madam, that one," said the mother. Well, the bears came up to the house and peeped through the window. Goldilocks was out. She'd gone to play and have tea at her friend's house. So the bears opened the door and went in. They went down the hall and into the kitchen. There on the table was a delicious bowl of pineapple jelly, which Goldilocks was saving for tea. There it is. You can see that. There's the bowl of pineapple jelly. "You said she was having tea at a friend's house," the father said. "Well, supper then." Anyway, there was the jelly. So the first great big huge bear tasted it, but it was too sweet for him. Then the middle-sized bear tasted it, but it was too wobbly. "I like it wobbly," said the mother bear. Then the little wee bear, tasted the jelly, and for him it was neither too sweet nor too wobbly, but just right, so he ate it all up. "Lovely," said the baby bear, clapping his paws. "I want a drink of water." "No, you don't," said the father bear. "You've just had jelly." "And never even gave your poor old mother a lick of the spoon," the mother bear said. Next, the bears went upstairs to Goldilocks' bedroom. By this time, all three of them were feeling tired from their walk. Also, they were quite cheeky bears, as you can see. So they got into bed and went to sleep. Then, and this is the exciting part, then Goldilocks came home. "From a friend's house," the father bear said. "That's it." Well, Goldilocks saw the front door open and said, "Wow! Somebody has been at my front door and left it open." When she saw the empty bowl on the kitchen table, she said, "Wow! Somebody has been at my pineapple jelly and eaten it all up." "Ha ha!" said the baby bear. When she went upstairs and saw the bears in a bed, she said, "Wow! Somebody has been sleeping in my bed and they're still in it." "Serves her right," said the father bear. And the baby bear said, "Then what did she do?" "She thought for a minute," said Dinah, who was herself thinking for a minute. "She thought for a minute and said, 'Who's this sleeping in my bed?' And the bears woke up and they all said, 'Us!'" Weren't they only pretending to be asleep?" said the baby bear. "No, they were really asleep." So then Goldilocks gave the three bears a good talking to. She said they had no business being in her house, eating her pineapple jelly and sleeping in her bed. "She's got a nerve," said the mother. Then the bears promised to leave only if Goldilocks would tell them a story. So she did. She told them a story and they listened and said, "Thank you very much." And after that they went home, because a promise is a promise. They went home and, "Wait a minute," the baby bear said. "What was the story she told?" "I don't remember. Anyway, that's another story," said Dinah. "I bet I know what it was," said the mother bear. She began to smile. "I bet it was one like this." Goldilocks said, "Once upon a time there were three bears." Then the little wee bear said he had already heard it. "I have already heard it already," said the baby bear. And the father bear said, "My head is spinning. How many bears have we got now?" Then the three bears went out for a walk, said the mother bear, and came to Goldilocks' house and went inside and ate her pineapple jelly. "Only the little small wee bear ate the jelly," said the baby bear. "No, they all ate it this time," said the mother bear. In fact, come to think of it, the middle-sized bear ate most of it. Well, they ate the jelly and went upstairs to lie down, and Goldilocks came back and found them there and "Told them to clear out," said Dinah, who was getting impatient. "No, she didn't," said the baby bear. "Yes, she did. She said, 'You bears get out of here or I will fetch my daddy, who's a hunter.'" A hunter? Said the baby bear, looking puzzled. What's a hunter? Don't answer that, whispered the mother bear. We haven't told him about hunters yet. He's too young. What are you whispering about? Said the baby bear. And he said, What's a hunter? A man, said the mother bear. A man who cuts trees down. That's a woodcutter. The mother bear turned to Dinah. Go on with the story. Right, said Dinah. So anyway, Goldilocks told the three bears about her daddy and his gun, and that was enough for them. What's a gun? Said the baby bear. Don't answer that, said the mother bear. That was enough for them, said Dinah. They wasted no time, but jumped out of the bed, out of the window, and ran off into the woods to their own house, with their own pineapple jelly, and their own beds. The end. At this point, Dinah slammed the book shut, startling the father bear, who'd been dozing off. The mother bear sat up in bed. That wasn't a bad story, she yawned and stretched. Except for the last bit. Dinah Price stood up and put the book on her bedside table. It was darker in the room now. The smell of cut grass was coming through the open window. The noise of the mower had stopped. In a tree outside the window, birds were twittering. Downstairs, the phone began to ring. Was Goldilocks' father really a you-know-what? The mother bear said. What's a you-know-what? The baby bear said. Yes, he was, said Dinah. Dinah could feel her feet getting cold inside the slippers. He was a terror. And she said, Are you going home now? Certainly, said the mother bear, and the father bear said, We can take a hint. The three bears clambered out of the bed. The father bear and the mother bear tidied the bedclothes and plumped up the pillow. Do you have far to go? Said Dinah. That would be telling, said the mother bear. It could be miles and miles and miles. Or just down the road, said the father bear. Then Dinah spotted the baby bear. He was trying to sneak off with the woolly duck. Luckily, the mother bear spotted him too. She made him give it back. After that, the three bears climbed out of the bedroom window, climbed onto the window ledge, said goodbye to Dinah Price, went down the drain pipe, across the grass, and waved goodbye to Dinah, who was watching them go, and disappeared into the rhododendron bushes at the far end of the garden. The last words Dinah heard was the baby bear halfway down the drain pipe saying, Can we have pineapple jelly when we get home? And mother bear replying, Wait and see. Dinah Price shut the window and pulled the curtains across. She said to herself, I'll tell my friends about this tomorrow. After that, she got into bed, still warm from the bears, and slept till morning. The end.